Okay, so
Sir, can you repeat the synopsis, please? One more time, sir.
so synopsis is actually the uh, it is the initial phase of your research when you are planning to start the research and you want to present your hypothesis, research methodology, your research plan. So it is at the initial start of your research before you have conducted any experiments or any kind of any other methodology. Okay, so that is the synopsis.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
सर मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि अगर आपने कोई हाइपोथेसिस दी है और उस पे बाद में फिर एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन की है, लेकिन वो जो आपने हाइपोथेसिस दी है वो एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन पे मैच नहीं कर रहा, तो फिर हम क्या दोबारा रिसर्च करेंगे कि नया हाइपोथेसिस देंगे?
Okay, so now this is a very interesting question. I have received a very interesting question from your colleague. So the question is, you have proposed a hypothesis. So actually this will be covered in the later uh, classes, but since he has asked the question, so the question is, you have proposed a hypothesis to your supervisor. When you have devised your research, you have said that okay, this will happen. Yeah, what is a hypothesis? Hypothesis is something you try to conclude your research before you have done any experimentation. So that is a hypothesis. Okay, this will happen when this is changed, so this property will be influenced, or anything like that. And after your research, you find out their hypothesis is wrong. Okay, so now this is a very interesting question. So now, should we do the research again, or what should be our course of action in that scenario? So if something like this is that your hypothesis is based upon some literature review, like some person in Australia has done this research and he has proved that A plus B is equal to C, and that A plus B is equal to C is your hypothesis, and then when you find out that no, the person who has done this research, it is A minus B is equal to C, and he is wrong. So now there is, then it would be a slightly issue. Then you have to either recheck, since he has done it before you, so you have to clearly see that what you have done wrong, or he has done wrong, what he has done wrong. But if you are the first person who is doing this research, there is no one else, or this is the idea which comes into your mind, and there is no other person who has proved this A plus B is equal to C, and you are the first person who is going to do it. And then if you come out that your hypothesis is wrong, then it is a research itself. You don't have to do it again. You just say, okay, my hypothesis is wrong. When I did my experiment, I found out A minus B is equal to C, not A plus B is equal to C. So this is your conclusion. That's it. You got my answer, Umair?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So another question, yes? Yes, we will try to cover some statistical elements in the research, but that is in the later stages, and we will try to see that, but in the later stages. And there is another faculty member, Dr. Irfan, and he might give you some lectures as well, like maybe 1, 2, or 3, based upon his availability and his interest. He's already very committed, but so some topics might maybe he will cover. Okay, so so yes, we were discussing the learning outcomes. So what are the learning outcomes? So the learning outcomes are that what I expect you to gain from this course is, number one, you can critically review a research paper. So that is your first learning outcome. I want you to read as many research papers as possible and you can critically see, okay, this man has done something wrong here. Instead of accepting everything on the you read on a journal paper, you should be critique, or you I would say you should have the quality to critique a research. If you have this quality, then you will develop a quality known as creating a gap, or you will be able to create something out of it. You will create a novelty. Okay. So this property is what I'm targeting, and I want to make sure that you get this, and then how you should draft your literature review and all this. Then apply the scientific methods in coming up with the thesis problem and identifying the gap, like how you. So in this um, course, I want you all to think about your master's thesis as well. So I expect that you will be creating a quality of critique, and then I want you to identify your research gap, which you will be working in the next year, in your third semester or and onwards. So I want to try to give you this quality, or I want to shine your quality to create a gap and formulating your research hypothesis, and then how you can write a research proposal on that hypothesis. And the lastly is to clearly and concisely communicate your research project. So that is the third quality I want. So you should have the quality that you should stand here and you should present your research, and there are some faculty members or your other colleagues, and you should be confident that okay, this is I've done, and based upon this, and you should clearly communicate your problem which you are trying to hit with your research, and how you have hit it, and how you have achieved your conclusion, or what are your conclusions. And this quality is important because you all who are going to do research will be standing in the defense one day in a front of a committee. And if you don't get this quality right now, then at that stage it would be a problem. Okay. So instructions regarding the course. So yes, it is a mandatory course. Attendance is mandatory. It will be on Thursday, 5 to 7 p.m. in this seminar hall, and 70. I guess it is 75% attendance. Okay. Okay. So 75% or 80% attendance. So you have to perform all the activities. You have to attend the classes, and then there will be an exam in the end, and there is no alpha, beta plus, beta, C plus, C grade. There is just pass and fail. That will be mentioned in your transcript based upon what? Quizzes, assignments. Assignment means assessment, presentation, research proposal, abstract, all these things. And in the end, you will have an exam, and you have to pass the exam by securing more than 50% marks. Mandatory to attempt everything, and there will be some. I am planning to give you 2 quizzes, one in week 8. I haven't mentioned in the course, but one will be in week 8, and the second one will be in week 16. So there will be 2 quizzes, few assignments, and your final exam. So it is not that easy course, but yeah, I'm teaching it will be easy. Don't worry. Okay, so that's the introduction to the course and the course outline. And any other question before we finish the lecture today?
Okay. Sir, I wanted to ask a general question.
Yes, Kaleem.
Uh,
मैं कि इसको हम हमेशा रिसर्च करते हैं. I mean, if I'm searching for something new or bringing some new topic, so would it still be called a research?
Hmm. Sorry,
तो
Kaleem.
मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा था कि रिसर्च क्यों बोलते हैं. मतलब अगर कोई नया टॉपिक में स्टडी कर रहा हूँ या पेपर लिख रहा हूँ किसी नए टॉपिक पे, तो उसको हम रिसर्च ही कहेंगे.
इसको हम research क्यों नहीं कहेंगे? So the question is, if you are writing something, if you are writing a new thing, so why we call it a research? So research is actually finding out the new topic. So that is, or finding out a problem in which you want to work on. So that is a research. Okay. We will cover this in detail in your week 2 and 3, and what we call a research and what we cannot call a research. We will cover that. Okay. Yes. Just
Yes,
one
sir,
minute.
I have a
Just
Sir,
yes. Just hold on. So there are some questions in front of me as well. Just give me a minute. Yes. So the question is, what is the difference between technical thesis and a research paper? Okay. So the thesis is actually, I would say, it is a more broader. When if you plan to work, if you want, you will get this definition more accurately when you will do PhD. So in PhD, you have a broad research topic, and research paper is just one aspect of your thesis. Okay, so if you there are people who publish like 10 papers out of their PhD thesis. So there are people, and there are some people who just publish one or two. In our master's degree, in your master's research, we just want to give you a flavor, and if you are good in this research, you will publish something out of it. So there are some master students who publish like 2 or 3 papers from their master's thesis as well. But it is a kind of a initial step. So in research paper, it is for international public. Anyone can use it. It can be a specific experiment. For example, you do a certain experiment, and that is a research paper itself. You tell the world, okay, I have done this, and this is the result. Okay, that's it, and this is your research paper.
Excuse me, sir.
ऐसी कोई बात नहीं. This is not that. A teacher likes if you do if you give a reference to a thesis as well. If he doesn't like, it's with him. It's a problem with him. Okay, people in the DL mode. Questions? Yes, one by one.
सर डिफेंस के बारे में थोड़ा समझा दें.
Manzoor, what is defense? Okay. Okay, so defense is when you stand in front of dean and present your thesis. So that is your defense. And you defend your thesis, and you that is your baby for like 1 year, and you want that no one should harm your baby. So you will be standing in front of the dean, and you will be like, no sir, I did everything right. So this is the defense.
Okay, sir.
Okay, any other question?
Yes, sir, I have a question.
Yes, Talha.
Sir, I wanted to ask that about the final exam. How would you conduct the final exam? It would be a written exam, or because we will learn on how to do research on our, I guess, personal computers and research and study research papers. How would be the exam at the end?
So Talha is worried about the final exam, and he says that,
Uh,
and
yes, sir.
his question is his question is very good, that how I will conduct the final exam. So the answer is, Talha, there is an exam hall. You will go to the exam hall, you will sit over there, you should have a pencil, pen, and your mind should be working at that time, and there will be a question paper in front of you. So in the question paper there will be some questions, and you will be given some space, like, okay, what is research? And you will like, research is this and that, and you will be given marks out of 3 or 4.
Yes, sir. That's what I wanted to ask. Will
Okay.
it be a written exam or something like
Yeah.
on to do research,
So it will be a written,
write a review paper?
it will be a written exam.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other question?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Walaikum assalam. Yes.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, is this necessary to write a research paper from your thesis to pass the defense?
Okay, so the question is it necessary to write a research paper to pass the defense? The answer is no. It is not necessary. You can still pass your thesis defense without a publication in NUST till now, but as far as the grade is concerned, so it's difficult to get an A grade without a research paper. And it also
Okay,
depends
sir.
upon the supervisor. So you have to manage your supervisor. You have to trick your supervisor. Okay, sir, I can write a research paper after thesis, and you can appear in the defense. Okay.
सर ये सिखा दे बस
That quality I don't have. Sorry, I was unable to. Convince my supervisor when I was doing MS thesis in NUST to let me appear in defense without paper. And he was like, and I finished my thesis like in the 4th year of my masters. So I don't have that quality, unfortunately.
सर अभी आपने कोर्स ए में बताया कि आप जो है ना वो बताएंगे किस तरह एडवाइजर को जो है ना वो आपने देखना है और अभी आप कह रहे हैं कि ये हमारी कोर्स का एम नहीं.
Chalo, we will see that what do I mean by managing your supervisor. Okay.
Sir, it should be some sort of beginner type.
Sorry. Another question?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yes, please ask.
Sir, I wanted to ask a general question that there are so many students who have the potential and the aptitude to carry out research, but they feel hesitant to do it and carry out research. I don't know why, but when we see the foreign universities, I mean, like students publish papers, dozens and dozens of papers, but in here in Pakistan, I don't think many students go for research. I wanted to ask that is our course content also designed to develop our interest in doing research or not, sir?
So this is a very good question, Adnan. I would say this is the best question of today's discussion. So the question is, generally Pakistani students get slightly afraid in publishing their research compared to the foreign institutes. So Adnan, the course which we are covering is actually my main aim, to give you the confidence and the tools that you can do research, you can publish your paper. Okay, so that is the aim of this course. You have observed the course outline, you see that, okay, what is literature review, how you reference, how you can do reference, how you can write a paper, how to publish a paper. All these things will be covered in this course. Your second point, to be very honest, I have seen people in the international universities. Generally, I have observed Iranian students and maybe Pakistani students and some Chinese students. They are exceptionally well. I will be very honest with you. They are exceptionally well. They can think critically, they can study research gaps, and they can publish your research. And the only concern is generally is that over in abroad universities internationally, they have some research fundings, they have some research facilities. Few of that facilities are lacking in Pakistan, but as far as the students are concerned, they are exceptionally good. To be very, they are extraordinarily good. I did my PhD from Australia, and I can say that the people in the researchers in Australia are mostly foreigners. There are no Australian researchers. They are very limited. When I was doing my PhD, so there was a room in which we were like 24 PhD students, and in 24 PhD students, there were only one Aussie. So there was one Australian, and there were like maybe 5 to 10 Chinese. There were like 3 to 4 Bangladeshi, there were 1 or 2 Sri Lankans, there were like maybe 2 or 3 Pakistanis, and then there were like few Iranis, and then this and that. They are not good in research. They are just hide away. They just did a bachelor's degree and that's it. They will get a job over there on the basis of bachelor. But in Pakistan, we are more motivated. We try to do research. You all are doing masters. Some are doing masters because you want a promotion in your job. Some are doing masters because you really want to do a PhD at the later stage of your life, or you are interested in research, or you want to further improve your knowledge in your respective area in which you are doing your studies. So this is not very this is not happening abroad. So there are actually foreigner students. So yes, we have a very high potential, Adnan. We have a very high potential. We can do research, and we can publish very easily. And to be very honest, I know some colleagues who have published some very good papers from Pakistan, and they have citations more than like 300. So we can do. That's not a problem. And those students have done research from NICE. I'm talking about here, not abroad. So you can do research, you can publish, and you can publish a very good research paper. Any other question?
Sir, if Pakistani students, Iranian, and foreigners are if people, why shouldn't students research in their own countries? Why they have to go to Australia or any foreign country to conduct their research? I mean, shouldn't Pakistani universities have ranking within first 500 universities in the world?
Okay, so Talha has a question that why people go abroad to do research. So that is a interesting question itself. They want to taste the flavor of research abroad. They want to explore abroad. They want to see the countries over there. They want to see that how people work over there. What are the pros and cons of doing research abroad? So that is the one. Second is they want to settle. Some people go to abroad maybe to get themselves settled over there, and they get a scholarship, and it's like, okay, bye bye Pakistan, I'm not coming back. Something like that, or I don't know, but yeah, this is quite common. And
Sir, I guess this is the main reason.
yes, that might be one of the reason. Yes, I agree with you. So but as far as the research here in Pakistan, I have seen very good researchers and who are flourishing over there in different international universities in abroad, and there are people who are coming back to Pakistan and serving their country as well. So there are some people as well like that. So that thing varies from person to person, to be very honest. Any other questions beside going abroad?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, to appear for the defense, is it necessary that our research paper should be published?
So Akil has a question that is it necessary to publish a paper before defense? And the answer is the same, which I've given, that it depends upon your supervisor and the grade you want. If you uh, it I can't answer, to be very honest, like uh, it varies. Some faculty has more lenient policies, some are more strict. So it varies, but I guess to get a good grade, it's better to publish your paper and then appear in the defense and stand there proudly and strongly in front of everyone, and you can say, okay, I've published it. Now now it has critiqued by the external reviews. So this will give you an extra boost, extra confidence in your defense if your research paper is published. Okay.
But sir, it takes sometime it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
That research paper normally takes months, and sometime it also takes years to publish. So it would
Yes.
be very late.
Yes, so we have a time limitation. Yes, I agree with you, and that's why we try to focus on those journals which generally publish in a more quicker, like 3 to 4 months. Okay, so it's better that you all should start your research. That is my advice. Okay, so that is my advice. Being your senior from NICE, that if you want to appear in your defense as soon as possible and with the publication, then my advice is that in your second year or second semester you should start thinking about your research, and in your third semester when you have only 2 courses to study, start your research, start your experimentation, and finish it by within a 1 year or maximum 6 months to 1 year. Finish your research, publish your paper, and appear in the defense, and that's it. Don't wait till like finishing the coursework and then after finishing your coursework taking a holiday for like 1 year or 1.5 year and then coming like 6 months before the deadline that you can't publish appear or finish your thesis. Or don't do that. Okay, finish your thesis as soon as possible.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So I guess we have a very good question and answer session, so we can have last question, and then we will finish. This is an introductory lecture, so if you have questions, so we have a whole semester to ask questions, and we will have a question and answer session in every lecture. But if you have a question, you can ask. This is the last question for today's class. Any question?
Sir,
Yes.
is it feasible to start research from this semester or think about your literature review and talk with any supervisor and start it from now?
Yes, that is what I told. If you have time, you can manage. So you can find a supervisor, you can find a literature. But officially, NICE NUST policy is that you have to submit a TH1 form, thesis 1 form, after you finish your coursework. So that form you can't submit, but you can start the literature review and all these things. So that is the administrative part of this. But that is not. You don't have to worry for that. You can start your literature review. Literature review takes like 2 to 3 months. It's not an easy thing to do. So you can do literature review, you can start make a methodology, and then you can discuss with your supervisor, and you can actually start your research maybe in the first week of third semester. So that's fine. Okay, so thank you very much, class, for a very good session in which we have a good discussion. And there are some of your colleagues who are sitting in front of me. They also asked me some very good questions. So, okay, thank you very much. We will have our next class on Thursday, 5 to 7 p.m. And we will start from lecture 1 in that class. And those people who can join here in face-to-face, please do that. And those who can't, it's fine. We will arrange a lecture for you online. Okay?
Me, sir.
Yes, Talha?
Sir, I don't have a question, sir. I have a suggestion to make.
Okay, suggestion.
Sir, from next kindly, you should record the lecture. Otherwise, if someone else starts the recording, then other comes and stops his recording and starts his own. So we have like 3 recordings for this lecture, so it would be difficult for us to manage.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's a suggestion from next kindly, you should start the recording.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you very much. Very good suggestion. Okay, so I
Thank
think
you, sir.